All right.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Adonyx Podcast. I am your host, Connor Shirtoff Murphy, and we have your co-host, Big Brandon Carter.
What up, what up?
And today we are lucky enough to have a special guest. Please welcome AJ Mihrzad. Shoot, I messed it up, man. I asked him how to pronounce it before, and I still messed it up, man. AJ, will you please tell the beautiful people your last name?
Sure. Super simple. Mihrzad. AJ Mihrzad.
Yeah, it's
AJ.
like all consonants, man. Like, like it's like one vowel in your name, man.
But yeah, guys. So AJ actually spoke at the Influencer Domination event with me and Brandon in New York. He had so much good information, man. So we had to have him on the show. He's the author of the best-selling book, The Mind Body Solution: Train Your Brain for Permanent Weight Loss. He's a personal trainer. He was inducted into the Personal Trainer Hall of Fame. He was in magazines, man, Entrepreneurial magazine, Huffington Post, Men's Fitness, Bodybuilding.com. Has a super successful high-ticket online personal training business. He has a podcast too. Actually, I was just on his podcast, man. We were talking about all sorts of fun stuff. So we are super excited to have him on the Adonyx Podcast. So I think today, basically what we want to talk about, there's so much good information. I want to talk about the $1 million mindset. Like basically the mindset that successful people have, and kind of, what's going through AJ's mind, what's going through my mind, what's going through Brandon's mind, what has helped us succeed, and what you guys can do, how you guys can train your brain to help you succeed. And whatever you want, man. It could be business, it could be girls. Whatever.
What else is there? Isn't that it?
I know.
I covered it.
The third thing, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, I have some ideas. We were actually kind of talking about this stuff on AJ's podcast just a minute ago. But AJ, if you could give us one thing, one kind of mindset tip that has really helped you succeed in business, in life, what would it be?
Just a tip.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Super simple philosophy that really helped me and a lot of my students. And many people don't know this, but actually have a master's degree in psychology. I take the brain and human behavior very seriously. And it's these simple words: act as if, and soon you will become.
Hey, let me ask you a question, man. Like if I start acting as if, right? Start acting like I'm the man, I'm the boss, right? Like, does that couldn't that be delusional, right? Like, cause I had kids coming to my office wanting to intern and work for me, and they acting as if they're already acting as if they're internet marketing legends. Motherfucker never sold nothing online, thinks he's Ty Lopez. Like, how do you, do you run a risk of that happening, or what's your take on that?
That's interesting. Yeah.
That's a great question, Brandon. So,
thank you. Hey, man, thank you.
In all the years of studying psychology, the fastest way to create change is through one's identity, right? So in a fitness example, if you want to give a person a nutrition plan, workout plan, most people can't follow it, right? Very few have the mindset and the identity of being health conscious, right? Where this is how I eat, this is how I train, I weigh my food, I count my macros. It's my identity, who I am.
I live this shit.
Times if you're trying to get a person to go from fat to fit, the fastest way is to act as if you are that fitness professional and you take it seriously, right? So of course, there is a bit of delusion there, but when you act as if and you have the identity of your ideal version, you catch up a lot faster through your thoughts, words, and actions. So of course, there is a bit of delusion, but to be a multi-millionaire, to be under 5% body fat, to get a date 7 days a week, you gotta be delusional, right? You have to feel that you're above the average person to create these amazing wins in your life.
That's interesting, because I think if you asked my parents, actually, I asked them recently and they agreed with this. If you ask my parents, if you ask anyone that went to my school, my friends, that I was going to be the most popular fitness YouTuber in 2 years, they would look at me like I'm absolutely delusional. You know what I mean? And I asked my parents that, like, like, hold on, what did you guys think when I first said this? And they were like, yeah, they didn't think it was going to happen. So it kind of, I mean, think about it. Think of the percentage chance of you actually succeeding and being like a millionaire, right? It's a very low chance. It's that logically it is kind of delusional. You know what I mean? If you're starting from nothing. So yeah, man, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, they said, out of all the businesses in the world and out of all of history, less than 3% of businesses make it past $1 million mark. So 97% of businesses don't get to $1 million. And that you have to be an anomaly, delusional to get to that point. And the people that are, it's like, whoa, you have no idea how small of a club you're in.
Man, you know, I thought everything would change when I hit $1 million, man. Like it ain't like shit ain't changed that much. I mean, shit changed, right? Shit is different, but it ain't what I thought, man. It ain't, you know, so I thought it was all gonna be caviar and
Massages,
and limos.
jets.
Yeah, private jets, man. Private jets on the massage, caviar, you know what I'm saying? I mean, massage on the private jets, my fault.
Yes.
I mean, when you think about it, I mean, $1 million, this kind of going off topic, but yeah, man, $1 million is just an arbitrary number. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's an extra digit in base 10, but like if you converted 1 million to base 7, it's just a weird number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's like, is that why, AJ? Because I was already acting as if I was already acting as I was just a balling ass motherfucker, right? So like so that is that why things didn't change? You know what I'm saying? Like you think that's how I got there? So I got there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say in your example, perhaps when you were first putting out your YouTube videos and working on your products and adding value, you knew in your heart you were going to succeed. It was like you had the superstar mentality. And I found that when I survey people who become very successful at a young age, they, in a sense, knew they had something special. So they were destined for it, you know? And when you know that you're going to be on a specific path, you do things at a very unconscious level. You take bigger risks. You put yourself out there. And on the same token, if you never, ever feel you're going to be a millionaire, if you feel like you're never going to get anywhere in life, and you feel like you're not worthy of success or fame or wealth, you'll never achieve it, right? Like Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.
Connor, did you believe when your family thought you was a crazy motherfucker, man, and like they wasn't feeling you? Did you believe it?
Yeah, this is interesting. I was just about to bring this up, and I was gonna ask AJ, you know, what he would recommend. Because I was at this point, right, where I was on the track to getting a 9-to-5 job, and I decided, fuck it, man. Like, I'm going to go all out. And I didn't tell my parents this. My parents kind of were like, cool. Like they're extremely supportive, don't get me wrong. And they were like, yeah, go for it, man. Pursue your passion. But, you know, you still got to make sure you still get a job after college, you know, focus on your academics. But for me, I just couldn't really do that. I went all out. Like, I could have kind of played it safe, but that would have limited the content that I created. Like, I don't know, but I think that if I was in a job interview and someone...
Now you're screwed.
Yeah, if someone played my videos, I really doubt it would help me get hired. So
you can work at Bro Labs. You can work at Bro Labs
yeah.
for sure, but you can't work in like a in the corporate world, man.
Right,
especially
exactly.
with all these guys, man, getting in trouble, man, for like, you know, harassing girls. They were like, nah, this kid's
I know they just wouldn't want to take that risk, you know, even though I'm such a nice guy, man. I'm actually extremely respectful to all the girls that are in my videos, but anyway, they wouldn't understand that. So I was like, screw it, I'm just going all out. Like, my mindset from right there was like, I'm not getting a normal job. Like, I'm doing this no matter what. And some people would consider that kind of delusional or, you know, risky. But what do you think, AJ? Should you kind of play it safe and have a backup plan, or is that what it takes? Do you have to completely go for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go back to this line where they say entrepreneurship is like jumping off a cliff and building wings on the way down. And I see that when people play it half-assed, many times they never become that successful. It's that level of commitment and decisiveness that this is the route that I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to create urgency, and no matter what, I'm going to make it work. And it's that ability to do that with everything you do. So I feel like it's very difficult to become a superstar if you're half-assed. You don't become a Michael Jordan or a Michael Jackson if you're not willing to play all in.
There's a I forget, it's in Think and Grow Rich, and he told a story, and this, I guess he was a Chinese general, and he was about to go bring his troops to fight, some battle, and they were like crazy outnumbered, like 3-1 or something, and so they took the ships over there, right? They took the ships. He got all his guys in the ships. And when he got to enemy land, they said, "All right, now burn the fucking ships." You know what I'm saying? And they burned it. Like, so the only way home was victory. And legend has it they won that battle. So that's kind of like what you guys are talking about, right?
Burn the ships, burn the boats.
Yeah,
yes,
burn the boats, man. Burn the boats, man.
Again, that's going to be really hard for a lot of people to do, especially because, because it is a big risk that they're taking, because they could disappoint their parents, they could disappoint their friends if they fail. But then again, you're competing against people that do go all out and do take that risk.
Bro,
so, yeah.
Yeah, you just can't compete unless you all in, man. You can't compete. And you know what? It's not for everybody, but that's okay, right? Like, it's really not for everybody. I think a lot of this shit, especially entrepreneurship, gets like glamorized. Like, it's just really not for everybody, man. Like, I don't think everyone should be an entrepreneur. I think a lot of people will be a lot happier and better off, like, just working for someone in a job that they find fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it takes a certain type of person. AJ, do you think it takes a certain type of personality to really be ultra successful? Or, are you born with it? Do you learn it? Or are some people just destined to be just regular?
I think you could create the attributes of confidence and risk-taking and being more charismatic. A great example for me is I was shy most of my life. In fact, I started for the first 20 years. And I was not a very good communicator. I would be in public situations and be very quiet and had a hard time talking to people. But weirdly enough, as a young age, I would have these dreams of public speaking and being in front of crowds. And I knew that I had to do this, but I had to develop the skill sets because genetically I was shy, stuttering, and insecure. I'm a severe introvert. So I had to pretend like I was an extrovert and also learn how to get over my stuttering, take public speaking classes, gain confidence, understand persuasion. How can I inspire people into action? So throughout the years, I invested in coaches, mentors, masterminds, took public speaking classes, improved my language, read books, and all of a sudden, I started to become the person that I visualized as a child, even though genetically it wasn't in the cards.
Right. So if I'm hearing this correctly, you acted as if, but you also studied, right? You also became competent, right? You can't just, because I think that's where the delusion comes from. People acting like they're like a badass, right? And but then not putting in the work, or what I'm saying, not really going for it. Like, if Connor, I believe if you believed that, right, but you weren't, you didn't build the physique you have, if you didn't study YouTube, the algorithm, and work on it as hard as you do, all the acting in the world will make up for that, right? It's got to be both. Is that what you guys are saying?
Great point. It's kind of like the movie The Secret, right? Where they say, just think about having a Ferrari, and I'm going to sit on a couch, smoke weed all day, and a Ferrari's going to show up in my garage, right? That shit ain't going to happen.
Nah, man.
Of course, there's the visualization of acting and taking on the attributes of thinking, speaking, and just being that ideal person. However, it's also doing the hard work, right? So in anything, business, understanding the marketing, the sales, with fitness, eating the nutritious foods, training, with women, being more charismatic, understanding female psychology. There's a lot of work that has to be done.
That's interesting. So, oh man, do you think that, so what exactly about your success, well, first of all, has it helped you with women? And what was it? Is it the success itself, or is it who you became, getting to that successful position? Or, what along the journey is the biggest, help to get girls?
Good question, Connor.
The greatest aphrodisiac for a woman is confidence. And you could ask any woman in any country all across the world, confidence is a huge turn on. So most women would rather take a guy who is fun and confident as opposed to, let's say, theoretically, if there's this doctor who's tall, dark, and handsome and has all these, stuff on paper that would make him attractive, confidence is huge, right? So that's one element of it. It's very primal. If you study evolutionary psychology, women are deeply attracted to confidence, status, and wealth. So these are specific signals for a woman to find this ideal man because they want to pass on their genes to someone who's a good provider, someone who could help in a difficult situation. If you're going to war, they're going to go for the confident, high status male. Where men, we're wired to be attracted to youth and beauty. So a woman could be a billionaire, but if she's obese and not attractive, she still can't get a guy. That's how crazy it is, right? But a male billionaire could pretty much pick his pick of the litter out of any woman. That's how we're wired. So it's understanding also in the world of dating, you have to really work towards these primal cues. And if you understand why our ancestors evolved, why we exist as human beings from a very hormonal, internal level, then attraction is as easy as pressing a button.
Wow. It's like these are like the honest signals. So honest signals you're talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
yes, there's primal signals. You will see a lot of women that have no idea why they're attracted to a man. You know, you've seen it as well on Instagram. Sometimes you'll see a drop dead, gorgeous woman, and you would see, oh my God, this is a perfect 10. And then she's with a dude who's like a 3, you know? And you're like, this guy's not wealthy and he's not famous. What is it about this guy? Well, he has the inner attraction signals. Like essentially in the animal kingdom, you have a mating dance, right? 2 birds, they want to copulate, they have their own mating dance and they have sex and procreate. Well, humans have a mating dance as well. And essentially you have to figure out as a man or a woman, what is your highest attraction factor in really becoming that person?
So what? Go ahead.
Yeah. So you think like confidence is probably the biggest key. And that's interesting because, man, confidence is a really interesting subject. And it really depends on kind of your definition of confidence. Because, man, I've been thinking about it and it can kind of go 2 ways. So I think that you would kind of believe that you can kind of create confidence probably kind of out of nothing. If you put your mind to it and really believe that you're confident, you can create that confidence, right? Because some people would say that that is kind of delusional and that that's not really real confidence, and that confidence only comes from your actions and what you've actually accomplished. And I'm sure that no matter what, your actions and what you've accomplished helps. But yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think that you can create confidence out of thin air, or does it have to come from someplace else?
Yeah, great question. So there is obviously a way of creating confidence from thin air, because certainty is extremely attractive, right? So in a sales conversation, the person who is most certain wins that. So a person could be totally bullshitting or not even have a product, could be a con man. But if they're so certain on that phone call to the other person, to solving their problems and taking them to the promised land, they're going to invest. Perhaps the guy's not going to deliver on that promise, and it's a fake confidence. But that's why we have con men and women, because of creating confidence out of thin air. In a lot of situations, people latch on the confidence, right? A wise marketer, Gary Halbert, one of the smartest copywriters on this planet, he said a very controversial term, but he says that every single person in this world is walking around with an invisible umbilical cord looking in to plug it into somebody, right? Everyone wants to be led, men and women. So when someone's confident, that's a signal that this is a person that could take me to where I need to go.
I feel like men respond to that too. Like, and not obviously not in a sexual thing, unless that's your thing. Unless no,
nothing
whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't give a fuck. But like I feel like as I became more confident in life, like I amassed like a tribe. Like people just started wanting to be around me, man, and like, yo, what you got going on, man, and wanted to be a part. I mean, like that's like how my company started. I started on my own. I was just going for it, and then like, I didn't really go hard recruiting. Like people kind of come to us, man, asking to work here, you know, and
interns,
it's the same kind of thing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you look at it like, you know, that's why like I studied a lot of psychology because in a sense we're living in the modern times, but a lot of our wiring and our subconscious triggers go back to where we used to live in this tribal society, and it was a very difficult world. Even our brains, you know, our brains are not wired to make us happy. They're wired to make us survive. Our goal as a human, our hormones, everything about us is built towards two things: survival and replication. And once we understand that we're very unconscious human beings and we're driven by these hormones and these irrational beliefs, then it's knowing that a simple thing like confidence in a situation says, well, this person is a leader of the tribe and they're going to take care of me. And if there's a war, I feel protected, right? Where a person that is not confident, you don't want to follow that person because following that person might lead you to death.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So obviously confidence really attracts people. I mean, both guys and girls, right? But on the other hand, arrogance and cockiness probably is a negative thing. And a lot of people, mostly people that aren't really my fans, they just kind of stumble across my videos and don't get to know the real me.
Not the real Conor Murphy.
They would say I'm like really cocky, you know? They'd say I'm arrogant, cocky. What's the difference? What is the difference between cockiness and arrogance? Well,
before we even get into that, Conor, you think you're humble or like, or what? Do you think you're humble?
If I say I'm humble, does that mean I'm not humble?
I don't know. Do you think you're,
I think I am humble because
you're not more humble than me. Now I'm the most humble. No one's ever been as humble as me, bro.
It's interesting because like this is a lot of people would never guess this, but like when I was before I did this whole YouTube thing, I was like I still had a good physique, but I would like never show it off, like ever, like not even close. Like someone would have to like beg to get me to like flex my bicep. Like I was raised to be an extremely humble guy. And like seriously, like taking my shirt off and being not humble does kind of actually make me uncomfortable. In a way it's fun because I've been like it's that side of me has been repressed like all my life. But yeah, I was raised a very humble guy. But
I'm gonna get a gold chain. This is something I'm thinking about, like Cuban link, real thick Cuban link chain, and with a big medallion on it that says humble, right? Just as like, you know, you heard.
I love that.
I'll get that. That's a good idea, man.
Iced out.
Yeah, I'll get matching ones with you. Yeah.
Oh man, thanks, man. Humble kings, man. Humble gods.
That's a really good question, Conor, about how too much confidence can lead to arrogance and ego. And I truly feel that at the end of the day, it's that great Eleanor Roosevelt quote: "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." And the most powerful way of being is to be a loving alpha. Like, I am confident, I am powerful, I can help you, I will lead you to the promised land, but I love you and I care about you. So you can portray that you are confident, that you are the shit and you can make stuff happen, but at the same time, you love people and you care about them, even though you may say some things that may hurt their feelings by being honest and truthful, but if you love them and care about them, that's all that matters. I think that when people are truly egotistical, they're just very ego-based. Me, selfish, and they don't give a shit about someone. But nowadays, people could truly tell who is authentic and who is just full of themselves.
I try to tell people, man, like when people say I'm cocky or arrogant, I say, listen, man, I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I just want you to be as awesome as me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to help you be as awesome as me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good up here. It's good up here.
Yeah. That makes sense. So basically, like, arrogance is just like confidence, but you're a dick.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I mean, that makes sense to me. That's a good way to look. That's a good way to look at it, man. So yeah. So as long as you're a nice person, you care about other people, you can be as confident as you want, but it's a good thing.
But people will still like a arrogant dick more. I mean, a confident dick more than a bashful dick. Like, like you can be an arrogant dick and people will still fuck with you, man. Like, look at like The Rock when you were a child, when The Rock was on WWE, man, he was like
He's an
arrogant
asshole.
he was an asshole. He was like kind of like almost like the bad guy for a minute, or Ric Flair. Like this is the perfect example. Donald fucking Trump. And people, AJ, why do people still like arrogant dick? You know, because you can, you know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, the American public, right? There's 300 million Americans, and essentially they want someone who will take them to the promised land, cares about their well-being, but at the same time will protect them from a threat. So that's why you had Trump and Hillary. The American public didn't feel like Hillary could step up to the plate. But in ancient times, if we were living in a small tribe, Donald Trump has that level of power and arrogance. And I love you so much that I'm going to do things to change this country up. It's a new opportunity. It's a big change. But at the end of the day, what's the slogan? Make America great again. He truly cares about the American public and cares about people's well-being. But essentially, the character that he portrays, being this aggressive, powerful man who will lead us to the promised land, that gets people to feel protected, you know, because typically a lot of presidents, you have to really win the hearts of people. And Donald Trump is very polarizing, right? People love him and people hate him. But at the end of the day, his persona is one of protection, and he's a very alpha character.
I got you. I had this theory about American elections. I only know, I got a theory, man, and it's yet to be proven wrong. I think that the Americans, no matter what your fucking politics are, I think on the low, Americans as a whole, they vote for the person they think will win in a fight. Like, no, seriously, I can't think of any example where that's the contrary.
That's a great theory. Holy shit.
That's why I thought Trump was going to win. You know, I was like, man, he looks like he'll win in a fight. Hillary's falling down and shit. She can't swipe her Metro card.
She's sick.
You know, I really think, if John McCain was 20, 30, 40, 50 years younger, he would, same as that, everything being equal, he'd have beat Obama. You know what I'm saying? War vet. You know, like a badass fighter pilot, you know, like I think, this is a theory, but it goes along with what you're saying about like who can protect you the most.
That's a great theory. And it makes sense because like, even though people will look at, let's say Trump's politics or his past or grab him by the pussy, all that stuff, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant
because he can win in a fight. You know
exactly.
I can't think of any example where that's contrary.
Hey, that's why building a great physique is so important, man. Again,
Come on, man.
I mean, it's not just about like it looks sexy, man. Like those, like it's not just that. It's not just like it's that male model look. It's more like, oh shit, like from a girl's perspective, it's like that guy can protect me. He can, you know, he can kill the buffalo for me. You know what I mean? He's strong, he's masculine, and again, like, it's kind of like a circular thing, like having that great physique improves your confidence too, but it can also go the other way around. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess if some men are very dependent on their physiques, you know, because we've all met guys who are like physical specimens, amazing genetics, great physiques, but the moment they interact with someone else, it's like, damn, I wish you didn't talk, you know, because they don't have the personality or the confidence.
Right.
Yeah, you want to be well rounded because it's just like you might see a guy who's like in great shape or like you know, I'm thinking of some guys in particular, but I wouldn't want to follow with them or even do business with them, right? Because they're like not that smart, right? I don't feel safe getting into a business relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? But when I met Connor, I was like, oh, this kid's actually fucking smart too. You know what I'm saying? And he's I can tell he's the kind of person, you know, I can put my faith in, you know, and we were able to do business together. So I think it's well rounded, you know. It's all of these things, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because obviously I want to ask you guys too. I see this a lot as well, being in the fitness industry. You know, you have some people who have tremendous Instagram followings, millions of Instagram followers, but if they try to go on YouTube, they fail horribly because they don't have video presence and charisma. So what is your take on that? Do you think that, you know, some of these Instagram models, male and female, have ability to become good on video, or is it like a lost cause? They'll never do well on YouTube.
I definitely think I definitely think they're not a lost cause, because if anyone was a lost cause when they started YouTube, it was me. If you go back in my first videos, go to my main channel and watch the first videos. They weren't pranks. Well, some of them were, but some of them were just, they were me talking to the camera, or they were me doing a workout and trying to talk. And I was the most uncharismatic, like monotone speaking guy. And it was awful. And I hated that about me. I was like, shit, like I really have to improve at this. And I think I improved a lot, man. And it was really just seeing myself on camera. But then again, I had some people are like, some people like tone deaf in music. Like some people might be like charisma deaf. Like they don't, you know what I mean? Like I know what looks good and what looks charismatic on camera. Like I can look at a certain celebrity or whatever and say, wow, they're really charismatic. Like, I get why people like them. But if people don't understand that, they can't really transform themselves into speaking and acting that way. But I kind of had a vision for myself of how I wanted to act. And after looking at myself on video over and over and gradually, making adjustments, I finally, got there. So I don't think I don't think anyone's a lost cause unless you're charisma deaf.
I agree and disagree, right? I agree with the charisma deaf part, but I disagree with some people are lost cause because you're fucking smart, right? I think you need a baseline level of intelligence, right? To even think that, right? Like some of these guys and girls, like, do you remember before when Instagram? This is like years ago, man. You might have been in diapers, Connor. But when Instagram allowed you to put video up,
I was there.
Yo, man, I unfollowed chicks. Like man, I don't want to hear this chick speak, man. I just wanted. She was hot, and then no, I'm not gonna follow you on Twitter. I don't care what you have to say. Because they didn't have and I've heard that too from girls about guys. They said, oh man, he's hot, but when I hear him talk, it's like it ruins it. I've heard that like a bunch of times from girls.
So yeah, that's kind of what I meant by charisma deaf. And again, it goes with a lot of different things. Like you can kind of accomplish anything that you put your mind to, but you have to be smart enough to kind of do the right research and do the right things to get there. You know what I mean? It's kind of the thing, like
awareness.
Yeah. You have to have that awareness. I think AJ had the good example of saying, like basically you can get a Ferrari, but you can't just sit and smoke weed all day and envision a Ferrari and it happens. You actually have to, accomplish the things that will get you there. So yeah, some people, they don't have that awareness and they're not smart enough to do what it takes to have that type of charisma. But if you have that, you can definitely accomplish it.
Yeah, like a great example is that, everyone wants to be a millionaire. What's one of your biggest goals? I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. But if you just shift that ever slightly and say, how can I create $1 million worth of value? Then you're playing a different game. That's more tangible because I want to be a millionaire. It's like a wave a magic wand. Poof, you're a millionaire. But if you actively work towards creating $1 million worth of value, then you could actually get there a lot faster.
Yeah, I've noticed you can have the most amazing work ethic in the world, but if you're working on the wrong things, you're just never going to accomplish it. I feel like so many people say, just work harder. You're not working hard enough. Just work harder. But if you're working on the wrong things that isn't helping you accomplish your goal, it's just it's negative. Like it's hurting your cause. You know what I mean?
Hey man, you don't want to. A wise guy whose name I forget said a quote that I'm going to butcher, and it was you don't want to. You can get all the way up the ladder and realize it's leaning against the wrong wall. Maybe I said it. Maybe I fucked it up so bad we can attribute that to me.
That's it. You can your original version.
That's that confidence. That's that confidence you was talking about, AJ. There it is. I'm acting as if I'm a quotable person.
So AJ, it's interesting that you say that you're an introvert because as many of my fans know that listen to the podcast, if they just watch YouTube, they won't get it, man. But I'm definitely extremely an introvert at heart. Has that, and what I've noticed is, we talked about this on your podcast, but I've noticed I've met a lot of people, like successful people and YouTubers, and a lot of them are like introverts at heart. Do
Wow.
you think that has helped you in any way, or is it maybe the journey from you really wanting to improve, you wanting to be a public speaker, and you making that journey from introvert to public speaker, or what is it about that has really helped you succeed?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a good book on that subject that really taught me a lot about introversion and extroversion, and it's quiet. And essentially, most people would say they're an introvert and extrovert, but at the end of the day, it's how you recharge your batteries. So a textbook introvert recharges the batteries when they're alone by themselves. Let's say they go to a conference, there's a sense of peace and serenity going back into the hotel room and just chilling for a moment, where an extrovert gets their energy being around other people. In fact, when they are by themselves, their batteries get drained. So you ask yourself, like, what recharges your batteries? Being alone or being around other people, right? So one is really becoming aware if you're a true introvert and an extrovert. And also there's a sense of, it's a label, but I don't want to let it define me. I think like back in the day, I used to allow it to define me that, okay, well, since I'm an introvert, I'm going to build an online business. I don't like being around other people. I like working from home, being by myself. And I feel like it really helped me. However, I knew that in order for me to grow and impact more people, I have to do more events. And that's when I decided to host seminars and live events at my house and have more and more people around me, because I feel like the biggest transformations occur in person and not just through the internet, through a video and products per se. So I guess it's really understanding that if I wanted to play a bigger game, I have to go against kind of like my natural inclinations, and also understand that I have to be an extrovert in order to make massive change. I think that's what really inspired me to understand how I can take my communication to the next level.
I've heard that too. You know, like it's what recharge. You can tell if you're interested in introvert or extrovert based off how you recharge your batteries, right? And I always consider myself an extrovert. I'm pretty good around people and in public. And I'm good in those situations. However, events drain the fuck out of me. Like being at events, expos, like I'm like, I need like days off after it, and I schedule time to be alone, actually, to think. I wake up early, to just to be alone, you know what I'm saying? Because that's when I get my most work done. Would you say I'm an introvert masquerading as an extrovert?
Yeah, I mean, they say the textbook answer is, how do you recharge your batteries? By yourself or around people. So you are possibly more of an introvert with extrovert qualities, 100%.
Yeah, because I need to be alone, man. Like I don't know if y'all noticed at the last
man cave.
Yeah, the man cave, or like I come here early and just like, even in my office, like I have my office at the office. I just close the door and work, man, because if I'm around motherfuckers, man, that shit, I won't get nothing done. And I just.
So I actually, I got a quick question for you guys. I'm transmitting this live, and my good buddy Skip LaCour, world-class natural bodybuilder, he asked a very good question. He says, do looks matter?
For girls?
For girls, for business. Let's talk about for girls first and foremost. Can you be a YouTube million subscriber celebrity if you're ugly? Let's talk about women. For women, do looks matter?
Okay, man. I can talk at length about this, but however, this is the Adonyx Podcast, so I'm because I know I don't want to fucking just take over, right? I would love to hear Connor's response.
I mean, all right. So I mean, I don't think it's that complicated of an answer. I mean, it's like, yeah, they matter, but they're not the be all end all. You know what I mean? So I think they absolutely matter. Because if you just watch my YouTube videos, man, like honestly, so yeah, I'm fun and outgoing, but a lot of the times, in a lot of my videos, I picked up girls without talking. You know what I mean? I really didn't do that much, and they really appreciate the looks and the physique and stuff like that.
They do, man. They appreciate the looks. Yeah. I can tell in the video. They appreciate it, man.
What got you thinking that? Was it the girl that licked the syrup off me, or was it?
That's my favorite video of all time. That's my favorite video on YouTube, when the girls licking dessert off you. Partially because that's been like a secret fantasy I've had my whole life. And Connor did it on you, like not just one girl though. No, like I mean, like I don't know if you guys ever seen these videos and like other like networks where like the guy's running around pouring dessert on himself, and then like this girl's like in line to lick it off, like, and he just goes to different girls. Like that's something I've always wanted for myself. And Connor did that shit in real life on a video.
Captured it, man.
I'm very glad I could fulfill that fantasy for you.
Yeah, man. Like I lived that vicariously for you through you.
But okay,
so thank you.
So yeah, so I was saying, so obviously looks help, but again, you will see these ugly fat guys getting all the girls, right? Like so it's like there's not just one thing that helps you with girls. It's a combination of a bunch of things, and looks will absolutely help you. It's a positive attribute for you to have, but you definitely can succeed without them. It's just like, I mean, man, if you're if you're competing in bodybuilding, man, and you have great biceps, it's going to help you win the show. But if you don't have that good of biceps, if you have a bunch of good other things that completely blows the competition away, you can win the show too.
Listen, man, looks matter as much. Like any like you said, for a man or for a woman. For a woman, I mean, a trillion %, man.
Oh, and I was just talking about. Sorry, I was focused on like guys. Like guys, looks matter for girls.
Because the thing is, we have friends who are professional pickup artists.
Yeah.
Looks, some of them are ugly mofos, but they pick up women and they get laid a lot. So if looks matter, how can a professional pickup artist master female attraction without the physical?
Well, okay, is there like Connor said, it's not the be all end all, right? You know, like okay, just think about the psychology of why everyone I know who's a pro pickup artist, he got into that because it was such a big pain point. He couldn't get a fucking girl to save his life, right? So it obviously matters, right? He couldn't do that, so he had to learn all the other stuff, right? And his game had to be so good that it compensated for that, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, like say you have an ugly pickup artist, man. An ugly fat pickup artist, and he's a great pickup artist, man. He gets like 7 out of 10 girls. If all of a sudden you turn him into a
Brad Pitt,
attractive pickup artist with a great physique, he's gonna get 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. You know, it's gonna help him.
My buddies, man, from RSD, I'm friends with those guys. Real Social Dynamics, big, 8-figure pickup company, and I'm good friends with a lot of those guys, all of them, matter of fact. And they always say, looks don't matter, money doesn't matter. But I asked them, all right, so listen, so you're telling me that I could be a homeless mutant and still get girls? That's what you're saying? No, seriously, no. And they said, well, no. Like, okay, so you're saying they do matter, right? So like, so now I say, okay, it does matter. I guess we can argue about the degrees in which they matter. But if you've read Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, there's a whole chapter on liking, on what makes people like you, and he talks about more attractive someone is, the more successful they become. Like, and he cited studies where they had criminals, like ex-cons, get plastic surgery to be more attractive, and then when they inevitably did their next crimes, they had either less harsh sentences, or they just got off, like more like than the people who didn't, right? And it's right there. There's studies that prove this, man. But can you be ugly? Yeah, you just gotta have, your personality has to be so amazing, right? Like you can. Yeah, man. There's never one variable to anything. We don't live in a one variable world. But if you can improve all the variable. I don't know, man. I think it's fiscally irresponsible to let yourself get out of shape because people will judge you by it, man. Like, I think it's like you will be judged, and it's going to be easier to get clients. It's going to be easier to get everything the better looking you are, and anything you can do to prove it, if you're not doing it, is fiscally irresponsible.
Yeah, it's kind of like enhancements, right? So like if a woman is an attractive woman and then she gets breast implants, it's a big enhancement. where those breast implants make her a lot more attractive to everyone around her, and it could create more opportunities, or people want to spend more time with her, or her Instagram blows up because of those enhancements. So looks, I feel, are an enhancement to a skill set you already have.
For a woman, it's a huge return. There's a huge return on investment, man. Like you, and they have more things they can do as far as makeup and looking better. I mean, everybody can improve how they look, right? So it's not like if you are in fact a homeless mutant, it doesn't mean you can't, like, you can change that, man. You can get plastic surgery, right? That's extreme, but you can do that, right? Or you can just, like, start dressing better. You can just, the way you carry yourself, you can get by the Adonyx method and get that physique like Connor, right? Like there's all this stuff. You can get a better haircut. You can start grooming yourself better, right? You can, everyone can do things. And if you're not doing it, it is fiscally irresponsible. And for a woman, it's outrageous because the ROI is just so high, it's just so high. And I wish we lived in a world where people didn't judge you by their looks, but that world doesn't exist, man. Like, that's just the reality.
I think about, like, let's say Instagram influencers, right? Because Instagram is a very visual medium. And let's say to get past 1 million Instagram followers, you have to be very influential. But I think about the people that have 1 million and up followers, they have amazing personalities. Perhaps in the looks department, they're not doing that well, but they're funny, they're engaging, they're charismatic. So there is a lot you could do, I feel, to make up for the lack of looks.
But if you do it all, if you got it all, then you're fucking Jake Paul, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, like, real talk.
Or The Rock.
Yeah. If you know what I'm saying? If you're or a musician, if you can be a great singer, but if you're not attractive, there's a limit. I think there's a ceiling on that. But if you are attractive and you're a good singer and dancer, then you're fucking Beyonce, right? You're, you know what I'm saying? Like, here's
the question I have. This is going to be a great question. If you have that ugly homeless mutant and they had to spend 1 year improving one area in their life, if it's their fitness, their charisma, their personality, their game, what is one area that a person who is a ugly homeless mutant should master in 1 year and that'll have the biggest impact on their life?
What's the goal?
The goal is to just improve, right?
Just improve, so general improvement.
For money, like, you think becoming a self-made millionaire, that's going to have a bigger impact, or having a shredded six-pack, or being a great communicator. I'm just curious, like, is there like a keystone self-improvement area that if you put all of your effort getting this to a 10, it would make the biggest difference out of all your areas?
That's interesting, because I think there's multiple routes that you can go, and like every area of self-improvement will help with the next. Exactly. So because you can be ugly and you can run an online business behind closed doors and no one ever see your face, and all of a sudden you have millions of dollars, and guess what? Now you can get plastic surgery to fix it looks. You know what I mean? And
I think wealth is maybe that keystone habit, because then you could invest in a coach to help you with women.
Oh yeah, well, that's the thing.
Money makes everything. Yeah. We sound like some shallow motherfuckers, but money makes everything easier. It makes everything easier, man. Like, it's the number one arbitrage in life, man. If you have money, I can't think of many problems that can't be fixed if you have enough money. Like Magic Johnson.
You don't chase women chase you. It's like,
man. Listen, man, Magic Johnson would be dead if he wasn't a millionaire. Real talk.
That's
a
great example.
I mean, real talk. He would have, like, a lot of people got caught HIV the same day and are dead, right? Like, he had the money to hire the best of everything. I honestly can't think of a problem that can't be solved with enough money. I mean, we're talking about world peace, like world hunger. Like, if with enough money, I can't think of anything you can't fix.
You can get the best doctors in the world. If you don't have money, you're going to die, Yeah,
right. I can't think now, but okay. But can you become a millionaire this year from nothing? Maybe, but that's but like you said, it's a small, like,
Bitcoin.
Huh? Yeah, it's you said it's 3%. You started this off. I think if you improve, listen, man, I think your physical fitness will improve every area of your life. And I think Connor can attest to this as well. Oh, you can too, AJ. It's like when you start getting in shape, see what do you have to do? You have to start eating right? You have to start working out right. You have to get enough sleep, and you have to make all these little promises to yourself every day, and you have to keep those promises. And when you keep those promises, it builds confidence, because you begin to trust yourself and believe yourself, right? If you look up confidence, one of the definitions is firm trust, right? And it's like you do what you say you're going to do, and you believe in yourself, and that's going to translate. Now you actually feel like you can go out and make that money, or you can accomplish bigger goals or other goals. I honestly believe that fitness is the foundation. Maybe that's just confirmation bias, because that's how I built my confidence. I was shy too, but I've just seen it so many times. We've all trained people
to personal development, because fitness allowed me to realize I could have control of my life. By my eating and training, I could manipulate my health and how I look. Now that opened up. What else can I manipulate? I want to be happier. I want to make more money. I want to be better with women. But fitness, for most people, is that first door into personal development, because before they go to a seminar or they hire a coach, typically they want to do something themselves, and they're like, wow, I can control this. What else can I control in my life?
Bro, I have a friend who's he'll leave his name nameless, right? But he's in good shape. He's in really good shape. Older dude, late 30s, early 40s, but in really good shape. Physically fit and tall, handsome, right? But he was still not good with women, right? He wasn't good with women, and he hired one of my friends who's like one of the number one, Tyler RSD, one of the number one pickup coaches. He went on a boot camp with him, and he taught him, and he became like overnight. The man is just like, but anyone else, like, it's going to take more than just that, right? I think when you focus on some of these other things before you focus on that fitness, you're going at it the hardest way, the most difficult, because now you have to be so good that you have to overcome these things. And in business too, man, like, I wasn't fucking with Gary Vee, man. I mean, I read Crush It, and I read until he lost the fucking weight. I was like, for whatever reason, maybe I'm just, I was not fucking with him until he hired my man, Michael Vitale. What up, Mike? Yeah, he's a trainer. He's one of my boys. He's a trainer in New York. He hired him to follow him around with him for a year. He had the money to do that, though, right? And then now I'm like, oh, let me see. I swear to God, I wasn't trying to hear no fat motherfucker teach me about success.
Well, yeah, man. It's like if you can't control your body fat percentage, how are you supposed to control fitness? You know what I mean? So that, I think, being in shape, yeah, man, it gives you that authority. It gives you that credibility for sure in all regards.
It's an honest signal. It's an honest signal. You're saying, and listen, I care about something, and I have the dedication to focus on something and stick to something. Like, and people see that, men, women, like outside of like sexual relations, people see that and they admire that, and then they have more confidence in you, man. I'm telling you, it's an honest signal,
A great example is like, who's in the media right now, Harvey Weinstein. Arguably, he's one of the most powerful people on the planet, being this high-level Hollywood producer worth millions and millions of dollars, is connected with the A-list celebrities. But that's all he has. He doesn't have anything else beyond that. And that's why he's got to like grope women to get close to them. Where if he was fit, if he was nice,
Think about that. Think of how you are a freaking millionaire.
Yeah.
Think of what a complete loser you have to be to not get girls where you have to freaking like grope them. That's fucked up. Like, he must be a super freaking loser.
Now imagine Connor Murphy, right? That much money, that and around these same women. Do you think he has to grope them? I'm just saying. Like, you think he has to grope them? I'm just saying, man. Like, it makes it.
You wouldn't get much done, because you're swimming in women all day long.
and that's a high class problem to have. But what I'm saying is like, yo, man, it just makes everything harder, man. It just makes everything work when you're not in shape. And even just let's take it another level. Just the energy you need to put in the kind of work. You said only 3% of businesses hit $1 million. What kind of energy do you need to compete with all these people? Like, what kind of focus do you have to have? You got to be. I mean, let's take looks out of it, just from a stamina, vigor, and being, just having enough energy to really get out here and compete, man. Like, you like me and you, AJ, we're filming this. We're standing, right? Connor doesn't have a standing index yet. I'm gonna send you one, man. Trill scene, if you listen to this, man, make me put that in the make me a project to send Connor a standing desk. But it's like you get more done because like, but if I was a fat person, I wouldn't be able to stand up all day, and if I didn't, and I work harder because I stand up all day because energy, how you hold yourself. Motion creates emotion, right? Tony Robbins said. So like I'm in it. I'm out here. I'm in it. Bam, 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 bam.
Cool. Wow.
That's
so
great.
I think the bottom line, man, we've had all this great insight, but it just comes down to like the $1 million mindset just comes from buying the Adonyx method and getting a great physique, man. I mean, that's basically all it is, man.
It's irresponsible not to, man. Like, why would you could try to figure it out on your own, and and maybe you'll get there. Maybe you won't, you'll go to the gym, I'll do this, I'll eat this, but if you just follow a tried and true method that has helped thousands of men around the world, like the Adonyx method, then like it'll be guaranteed success or your money back,
Yeah, man.
Like, I wish I had stuff like this when I was coming up. When I first got into fitness and nutrition, we didn't have as many amazing products that you could just get the shortcut and get there a lot faster. I had to read bullshit magazines and talk to bros in the gym and try to understand, put pieces together, but it's amazing that you have a method that someone could follow within weeks, take their fitness to the next level and create a new mindset of like, I can now control my body. What else do I want to, optimize?
Yeah, man. Once you conquer that, once you conquer your body, I mean, it starts with yourself, right? Like you started this off saying it starts with you, right? And if you can't conquer you, how are you going to go out and conquer other things? And how are you going to conquer your relationships? How are you going to conquer business? Like seriously, how would you do it if you can't master yourself?
Cool, man.
So let's say, we're coming to a new year. It's like resolutions. I'm going to change my fitness. This is going to be my year. And every single year, because of the growth of technology, obesity goes up. I think it's like 80% all around the world, right? And it's going to go higher and higher as technology gets more advanced. But even though you guys give a step-by-step process in getting into the best shape of your life, and there's tons of videos on YouTube you've created, you guys are really into this world. Why do you think so many people are still obese when the information is right there in their hands?
You still got to take action, man. You still got to take action. You still got to take action. You got to do it, right? If information alone was enough, we'd all be rich, millionaire astronauts. Yeah, we'd all be millionaires with six pack. If information was enough, man. But it's not. You got to take that information and apply it.
Yeah, man. I think it's just as simple as like people just don't have the willpower, man. Like they, in general, people are just lazy. They want to take the easy route. I mean, honestly, it's relatively simple to get in shape, but it's not easy. You have to put in the work and be consistent. And a lot of people are impatient and lazy, man. I mean, it's just being real, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
people are putting out.
I'm going to be like 100 pounds overweight, man. You got to eat a lot of calories. You got to do absolutely nothing. It's a chore to be morbidly obese. And obviously it's, like you said, it's easier just to basically do some intermittent fasting, follow a keto diet, get to the gym 2-3 times a week. Like simple things like that will give you a big difference in your health. But it's like, I don't know, it seems to be like this big limitation, this big block for a lot of people. That's why it's going to get worse and worse and worse in the next few years, where, you have kids who are having heart attacks. It's nuts out there.
Everybody wants things to be comfortable and easy, man. And I'm glad, right? Because that makes like us stand out, right? Like if everybody was walking around looking like Connor, man, there'd be no way to stand out. You know what I'm saying? But so like I'm glad that the majority.
Honor.
But the people who listen to this, the people who are listening to us now, man, we're different. We're a different breed, man. We won't accept mediocrity. We want to be like everyone else. We want to take our lives, our physiques, our relationships, everything to the max. Like really get the most out of it. And the Adonyx method was made just for that. To help you do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're listening to this right now, like, dang, like that's actually a big step to getting there. Like in all seriousness, think about it. If you listen to this whole podcast for an hour, obviously you're you're into like self-improvement.
Serious.
You know what I mean? So, man, if you're listening to this right now, you have a good chance of being successful in life.
Yeah, unless you're a dabbler, right? Like if you're a dabbler, like if it's just like something you just kind of want to be successful in life, it's a good idea. Then that's just probably not for you. You know what I'm saying? It's honestly not for you. If you just want to be a regular guy doing regular shit until you die, then like don't waste your time, right? Because you won't. It's not for you. You won't have you won't be able to go through it, right? Because it's not easy. But if you're not a regular guy, right? If you are ready to act like a champion, to become a champion, to take your life to that next level and succeed in all areas, then yeah, I mean, this, the Adonyx method, man, kind of put that together. It was amazing. Hey, but I don't want to turn into an Adonyx method commercial. I'm just talking, man. I'm just talking the truth. I'm just talking the truth because I've seen all the testimonials. AJ, man, is there a way we can find out more about you, where the listeners can get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way is my website, onlinesupercoach.com. And I have my podcasts on there. I do seminars every month here in New York. And anything you need just in terms of really understanding ways to increase your wealth. I think that's one thing I study a lot. It's also like, because we see that in a sense, money is this like keystone attribute that will change elements of your life. So I'm always researching the mindset of money, the systems. I have a blog where I'm always getting into the core systems that will allow you to become a self-made millionaire.
I like that. Man, his podcast is lit. Connor, you just recorded an episode on it today, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, so the podcast just got a lot more lit as of today.
Yeah, but I'm on an older episode,
and you guys both killed it.
Yeah. I was on an older episode like a year or two ago, and that's when we first met. And yeah, man, like it was an honor to be on it. And that's a good episode too. And so right after you listen to Connor's first, right? Because that's the new shit, right? But then go in the archives, listen to the one with me on it, man. I shared some stuff. It was the first time I shared some of that stuff,
Yeah, it was a very vulnerable podcast. It got so much downloads because I never saw this side of Brandon. People were telling me because you're so intimate on there.
Thank you, man. People want to get intimate with me, man. It's something. And that's your opportunity. Well, awesome, man. Yeah.
But yeah, AJ, if you happen to be listening to this and not just watching it, would you think it would be a good idea to like leave a review?
Oh,
yeah, I think I mean, I just think that would be a good idea. Don't you, Brandon? Don't you think these guys should
listen, I don't know, man. Like, the guys, man, spent an hour just giving value, trying to help you out. And I don't know, man, I would feel like a sucker if I listened to like that and got that much value and didn't leave a review. And I did. I mean, on iTunes, and this might be on Spotify by the time you listen to this. You know what I'm saying, or whatever you're listening on. Yeah, why would you gotta leave a review, man? Just because you don't want to just be a taker in life, right? You want to be a giver, man. You want to be a giver. Yeah. On
a side note, we can stop talking about the reviews. I just know that there's something about the number 5 that is like really lucky. The number 5, I don't know. It's just really lucky, but I don't. You can take that for whatever you want.
Legend has it that if you leave 5-star reviews on the Adonyx podcast, you're more likely to accomplish your goals and dreams in life. Like I haven't seen the data. I just heard this
being killed somewhere in the world.
Yeah. Like this is stuff I've heard, man, from other people. Man, lots of people are saying this. I don't have any data or research, but like it sounds plausible. It sounds plausible. Yeah. And we read all the reviews. Oh, but whatever, I don't know, Connor, something's wrong with my eyeballs, like the way they're set up, is that I only see the 5-star reviews. I know there's like a way that you're allowed to leave less than 5 stars, but my eyeballs just can't see it. It's like it's not in my visual spectrum.
Yeah, man, you might want to go see a doctor about that.
I need to see a doctor. I need to see a doctor about that, man. But actually, I don't want to see it. I think I'm fine because the 5-star reviews are left by the coolest guys, and I only want to hear from the coolest guys.
I completely agree, man. I completely agree. Yeah. So, that's all the time we have for the Adonyx podcast. But AJ, thank you so much for being on here, man. You gave us a lot of great value. Everyone, make sure you go follow AJ. Somewhere. I know I follow him. I know I follow him on Instagram, man. So you should too. That's just a cool thing to do. But yeah, man. Thank you, AJ. And I am your host, Connor Murphy. Yeah, man. Co-host Big Brandon Carter.
What up?
And our special guest, AJ Mihrzad.
Matt.
I don't know. I think I said it right. I think I got it. Mihrzad.
You got it. Yeah, AJ Mihrzad.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool. So, we'll see you guys next time.
All right, peace.